Chapter 58 Monster of the Cafeteria. Did you find anything? Guo Kaitang asked Mo Fan. I have asked the person who last saw the missing girl. She said she smelled the rotten odor from the cafeteria. I have basically determined that the cafeteria either has a panty-stealing pervert or a magical beast. Mo Fan pushed back his glasses in a move that exuded wisdom. How did Detective Conan put it? Oh right, there is only one truth. Is that so? Then tonight, you'll keep watch over the cafeteria. The rest of us will go to the teaching blocks, the Minwen Mountain Park, dormitory, and the school field, Guo Kaitang replied, appearing somewhat arrogant. Why am I not keeping watch over the dormitories? I heard that there are a few students who stayed behind. Why don't you let me take care of their safe? Mo Fan said. Just Fei Shi being there is enough. Mo Fan felt a headache. Fei Shi looked like a weird uncle that would steal girls' underwear. Having him keeping watch over the dormitories would result in the girls being in even more danger. That evening, Mo Fan really was assigned to watch over the cafeteria. The cafeteria of Minwen Girls' Middle School was immensely large. It looked like a huge meeting hall. As this place could be considered an aristocratic school, a cafeteria this luxurious and spacious was well within reason. Unlike the cafeteria of Tianlan Magic High, if you wanted to hide something there, then you'd be swept out by the aunties at the cafeteria. The dark cafeteria only had a few spots illuminated by the lights from afar. The chairs and tables were neatly arranged. Mo Fan was squatting in a corner daydreaming about the scene of young girls wearing their short skirts in summer, the sweet fragrances overflowing as the radiance of springtime was endless. Boom! 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 The noise came from nowhere. A lone spoon which was forgotten on a table was swaying and trembling as it slowly moved toward the edge of the table. As the spoon fell off the table, it hit Mo Fan's head. Mo Fan quickly grabbed the little spoon that nearly exposed his location. What the hell? Who would be so bored as to leave behind their spoon after having an ice cream in the middle of the night? It almost exposed my location. This cafeteria is really weird. Just what is the source of this trembling? It feels like there's a construction team beneath me. Could it be that they're building a prison basement? Lately, that kind of thing has been quite popular all across the country. Mo Fan stealthily stretched his head out as he looked around. Growl. Suddenly, an extremely strange, deep noise came from the back of the kitchen in the cafeteria. Following this noise, Mo Fan immediately smelled the rancid smell of rotten food. It was some chives, fishy-smelling meat, and salted vegetables. Sheet, there really is a magical beast? Mo Fan tensed up. Before he joined the city hunter team, Mo Fan had always thought that the city was a very tranquil and safe world. He thought magical beasts were just something the adults had made up just to scare the kids who refused to sleep. Who would have thought that the city actually had some magical beasts hidden away? What Aunt Mo Ching had said before was not necessarily fake. Thinking back on it, it made sense. The city was so big. There were too many unknown places. If a magical beast really were to appear, and there were human lives involved, the police would still prevent the information from being leaked out and then proceed to resolve the matter in private. The effect of people panicking was far worse than the things happening. Mo Fan took out a communication device as he pressed down on it within his pocket. This communication device was simple. It would notify his team members of his location to let them know that he had a situation. The sound of a stomach growling resounded. As he pressed the communication device, the thing that was behind the cafeteria kitchen acted as though it could feel the signal. A set of deep, blue-colored eyes oddly emerged behind the kitchen glass as it directly locked onto the person who let out the signal. Its pupils were as big as a basketball, and the meat tissues around the eyes writhed as it turned around. It gave him goosebumps. With the help of the reflection, Mo Fan was able to roughly see a silhouette. That's a neck. The neck was as big as a tree. It was hard to distinguish whether it was a neck or a head. In short, in the place where there should be a head was an eye as large as a basketball, and a mouth that was filled with rotten food. Sheet, are these magical beasts equipped with a signal receiver? It could even sense when I sent a signal. Mo Fan cursed to himself. As soon as he sent a signal, the large-eyed neck monster immediately locked onto him. Not even those aliens in Hollywood have an amazing ability like that. Goo goo. Suddenly, the big-eyed neck monster's pupil looked as though it condensed. He could tell that its basketball-sized pupil was compressing. As the energy reached its maximum output, a red ray instantly shot out from the monster's pupil. The red ray pierced through the glass window that separated the students and the canteen aunties, before piercing through the row of dining tables straight toward Mo Fan's location. Mo Fan nearly peed his pants. This thing doesn't even greet me before attacking me. Its cold expression is like a cafeteria lady's annihilating gaze when you hope she would give you a bit more meat. Fortunately, it was not Mo Fan's first time dealing with a magical beast. Relying on his reflexes, he tumbled toward the cafeteria's exit. In the next second, Mo Fan's hiding place was turned into a scorched black hole. If he hadn't rolled away, then that hole would have been his chest. As their stardust grew stronger, it would also change a magician's physique. Although these changes weren't extremely evident, they were good enough for a magician to dodge very evident attacks. Mo Fan was also incomparably clever. He had chosen a location near the exit from the beginning, and thus he was able to successfully leave the cafeteria with just that tumble and roll. However, everything was not as simple as Mo Fan thought it would be. The large-eyed neck monster let out a screeching noise as it rushed out of the back of the cafeteria. Its massive eyes were once again condensing a red light. Mo Fan glanced behind him and felt increasingly shocked. This thing's attack frequency is too high, I can no longer dodge it. Mo Fan began to use his intent to activate the magical equipment imprint within his soul so he could call out the bone scythe shield to shield him. Water field, dissolve. As Mo Fan was about to finish it, a clear voice called out from the distant basketball court. Following this, Mo Fan saw a stream of water forming in the air. This stream of water was as soft as a ribbon as it floated in front of him. However, it quickly formed into a concave shield. After the red ray hit the water shield, it was completely neutralized. The red energy was immediately dispersed into countless droplets as they sprinkled over Mo Fan's feet. Mo Fan immediately canceled the activation of the bone scythe shield. He turned his head around just in time to see the girl called Xiao Kei smiling sweetly toward him as she revealed two cute canine teeth. Xiao Kei? Lady, your timing is too good. Chapter 59 Battle Ape Rat. Fan Mo, retreat to the back. Leave this animal to me. Captain Shu Dahuang shouted, as he and Fei Shi both arrived in time. The two looked as though they had accelerated along a flat escalator. They didn't take a single step, yet their bodies were moving along the flat ground. Mo Fan knew that this was the primary spell of the Earth element, Earth Ripple. Earth Ripple was also a movement spell. You could control the surface of the ground to initiate quick movement. Wang Sanpeng was also capable of this. However, he was not as adept at it as Fei Shi. This is a colossal-eyed ape rat. They usually live underground, thus, they're an expert in digging holes and particularly enjoy the city sewers. They can stretch their neck and their eyes can release a piercing red light beam. This thing is like a mixed rat, capable of high-speed reproduction. Their survival abilities are high. The sewers and garbage lots tend to have quite a few of them. Normally, they eat human leftovers. However, if their hunger reaches a certain degree, they are able to eat humans as well, making them a terrifying and numerous magical beast. Soon enough, Vice Captain Guo Kaitang informed everyone about this creature. Colossal-eyed ape rat? The magical beast classes had discussed this creature a few times. This creature was an expert at living underground and hole digging. It was the Lanshang University amongst magical beasts. Normally, whenever this kind of magical beast encounters a magician, they would run away peeing themselves. How come this one dares to even initiate attacks? This one is evidently extremely rash. I reckon it's starving, requiring a large amount of food and energy. Fortunately, we happened to find it, Fei Shi said as he smiled. These people were different from the group of students who were scared like dogs when they first encountered magical beasts. Whether it was the Captain Shu Dahuang, the girl Xiao Kei, Wind Mage, Guo Kaitang, or Uncle Fei Shi, they wore a different attitude when they faced off against the colossal-eyed ape rat. They were all spread over, but they stood within a distance where they could support each other. They formed an attack formation, while maintaining a distance where they could retreat if they encountered danger. Mo Fan, who had just joined their team as a member, was awkwardly standing there. It looked as though he had told his teammates, "After you retreat, I will challenge this creature." However, the truth was, he was slowly shifting toward the back of his teammates. On the inside, he was cursing Fei Shi for not using Earth Ripple on him. The sound of an empty stomach grumbled out. This colossal-eyed ape rat was indeed extremely vicious. It didn't run away despite seeing so many people. Its eyes immediately locked onto the closest person to itself, the wind mage, Li Wenji. It's the red light beam. This animal that lived amongst the human city's dark corner looked as though it wanted to shoot through the people moving around it presently. Its intense roaring was particularly fierce in the air of the evening school campus. You want to attack us? The wind mage Li Wenji was laid back. Mo Fan practically didn't see Li Wenji meticulously focus his mind to link the star paths, yet a cyan wind track emerged around his body, incessantly blowing his white shirt. Swoosh! The red piercing beam shot forth, but Li Wenji left behind only a chaotic air in his former location. His figure had already flashed 5 meters away. How could one be that handsome? Fool, you dare to come out and harm people with just this little skill? Li Wenji stood in front of a table tennis stand as he coldly smiled toward the colossal-eyed ape rat. When the colossal-eyed ape rat saw its beam was ineffective toward this nimble human, it flew into a rage as it spread its 4 sharp limbs. With a neck and head that strange, the colossal-eyed ape rat's speed was actually a few times faster than the spirit wolf which Mo Fan had met before. If it used this speed to go against the students, even if they were able to stay calm and complete their star path, they would still be too late to cast their spells. The time it took for students to cast their spells was around 4 seconds, whereas the colossal-eyed ape rat was able to get to Li Wenji from a place 40 meters away in a short 2 seconds. Its claws were then scratching right for Li Wenji's face. Mo Fan couldn't help but feel apprehensive. He was scared of Li Wenji losing his life. Looking at his surroundings, neither the water mage, Xiao Ke, nor the earth mage, Fei Shi, seemed to have any intention of saving Li Wenji. Wind track, flash steps. Li Wenji was not flustered at all. His gaze was calmly watching the colossal-eyed ape rat dash over as he coldly spouted the name of the spell. Swoosh! Li Wenji's body once again disappeared from his original location. The colossal-eyed ape rat's claws smacked against the stone table tennis stand, reducing the table into powder that flew off into the surroundings. After the creature realized that its claw had failed, it immediately began to look for Li Wenji. Swoosh! Li Wenji took another step. He once again left behind a dust trail before he quickly flashed 20 meters away. Swoosh! Li Wenji stopped behind a cotton tree planted inside the cantina. To Mo Fan's surprise, the wind mage had once again disappeared from his sight. Following this, a red beam fiercely hit the cotton tree Li Wenji had stopped behind. The cotton tree was pierced straight through by the beam, leaving behind a blackened hole. Ash blew out of the hole from the superheated steam and charred wood, drifting down in a cloud of dark motes. Wind track, flash step. Mo Fan saw this as he gasped in surprise. In school, all the wind elemental students had only grasped the wind track's swift travel. To move fast with swift travel was only possible if you were able to create a wind tunnel. Although it was indeed quick, it was still not as fast as Li Wenji's flash step. If Zhang Xiaohou had grasped wind track's flash steps back then, he would definitely have been able to thrash that spirit wolf around a few times, and get out of the difficult situation of being chased deep within the cavern. Although it was also a primary spell of the wind track, its effect felt evidently on a different level. The colossal-eyed ape rat's sensitivity was even above that of spirit wolf. However, at the end of the day, it still wasn't able to touch the corner of Li Wenji's clothes. As expected, the things you learned at school were far too limited. Only when you were exposed to this kind of environment, and incessantly gaining practical combat experience, will you truly be able to raise your strength. It was a wise choice to join the hunters. Only when I follow these hunter mages who are fearless in front of the magical beasts will I be able to grow. Going with those students who pee their pants when they see a magical beast is definitely a bad choice. It wasn't that Mo Fan disliked his classmates, but because Mo Fan had come to realize many things after battling against the spirit wolf. Pursuing examinations, grades, target shootings, attending magical beast classes, and analyzing battle techniques were completely useless when you actually encountered a magical beast. The only way to improve is to fight, to incessantly face magical beasts like this. Have a taste of my flames. Captain Shu Dahuang flew up confidently. There was already a ball of scorching hot flame in his palm. The flames illuminated the sturdy uncle's face, which carried some disdain for the creature before him,